Hello everyone, welcome back to Spectrum classes. Today in this video I am just going to cover the topic electrochemistry, and since many of the students find it difficult to understand the terminologies which we are going to use in electrochemistry, this is a bit confusing for the students, those who do not clearly understand the terminology used in electrochemistry. I thought I must make a video in which we are going to cover all the basic terminology for understanding of the electrochemistry, because this topic is very important for the exam point of view as well as for research point of view. So in this part 1 we are going to cover what is conductivity or conductance. Second, we are going to cover different type of conductors. And the third point which we are going to cover here, electrolytes and different type of electrolytes, how they carry the current. The next point is, does electrolytes follow Ohm's law or not? So these are the points which we are going to cover in this video. So let's start with the video. So first of all we are going to discuss what is called electrical conductivity. So electrical conductivity is the transport of electricity through the matter, and this transport of electricity through the matter always requires the presence of charged particles. Based on the type of charged particles, the conductors are classified into mainly 3 groups, but here I am just going to discuss 2 groups. So the 2 groups are metallic conductors and ionic conductors. These ionic conductors are also known as electrolytes. And the third one is gases, conducting gases, but we are not dealing with the conducting gases here in this video. Now we are just going to understand what is the difference between metallic conductors and ionic conductors. Before discuss about the metallic conductors, we must know what kind of bonding is present in metallic conductors. We are having, like, this is a metal, and in this metal positive kernels are there which are embedded in the electron C. So in this way these metallic conductors transport the electricity through these electrons, right? So here I have written electron C model, and the transport of electricity through the lattice material is facilitated by the electrons. For example, we are having silver metal, we are having copper metal, etc. And here I have also written the graphite, but this graphite is the molecular lattice. This is not the metallic, but here again electrons are the charge carrier. Now coming to the next part, transfer of matter doesn't occur in these metallic conductors. You will better understand this point in the next slide. Now coming to the ionic conductors. So these ionic conductors, as I said, are also known as electrolytic conductors. So electrolytic solutions which consist electrically charged and movable ions, cations and anions. Cations are positively charged and anions are negatively charged, right? These positive and negative charges facilitate the flow of current in case of these electrolytic conductors. These electrolytic conductors carry the current if they are ionized, and this ionization occurs while we dissolve these electrolytes in polar solvents such as water or alcohol, and as well as if they are on melting dissociates into their positive and negative ions. So these are the conditions for these electrolytes to conduct the electricity by their dissociation into plus and minus charges. Now in this case, transfer of charge in electrolyte is always linked to the transport of matter. So here transport of matter occurs, but here in this case no transfer of matter occurs. Conductivity of electrolytic solution. So conductivity is the ability of an electrolyte solution to conduct current through it. So this is called conductivity. And what are called electrolytes? So electrolyte is a substance that dissociate into its ions while dissolving in polar solvents like water or other solvents, right? So here you can see this is the solution of an electrolyte which dissociates into plus and minus ions. Plus ions are called cations. Here I have written, and they migrate to the cathode and they discharge at the cathode. Similarly, negatively charged ions are known as anions and they migrate towards anions. So here you can relate cation migrates towards cathode and anions migrate towards anode. Now these are the electrodes which are placed in this solution, electrolyte solution. So these are the metal rods, and these metal rods are attached with the battery. This part is attached with the positive terminal of the battery, and this part of the rod is attached with the negative part of the battery. So this negatively charged electrode is called as cathode and this positively charged electrode is known as anode. If you remember your LOAN trick, so in that anode is negative terminal. So you might get confused. According to this trick, this should be the negatively charged. So something is wrong with this, right? No, there is nothing wrong. This is an electrolytic cell. In this electrolytic cells, anodes are positive and cathodes are negative because here electricity is used to conduct the chemical reaction. This trick is applicable for galvanic cells, and these galvanic cells are also known as voltaic cells. How they conduct the electricity. So there is a potential difference between these two electrodes, and on that basis these positively and negatively charged ions move towards oppositely charged electrodes. Here again you can see, you just see. So negatively charged ions move towards the positively charged electrode and positively charged ions move toward the negatively charged electrode. And while doing this, positive ions deposited over this and these negative ions deposited over this, right? So here in this case transport of matter occurs. That is very important again, right? So electrolytes in solution or molten state can conduct electric current. So what is the use of writing this? Because in this form they are in their dissociated form, plus and minus forms. Because if I say NaCl solid, so NaCl solid is having this kind of cubic structure in which plus and minus are embedded on this cubic sides. Therefore in this, and they are fixed, they cannot move, so this will not be able to conduct electricity in solid state. However, in solution and in molten state, they dissociate into their ions and which are movable. If you remember in the previous slide, I have written ions that are movable. So here that is the reason. Fine. Now coming to the types of electrolytes. What is called electrolyte and types of electrolytes. So electrolytes are those compounds which dissociates into their ions in solution or in molten state. These electrolytes are of two types. One is strong electrolyte and the other one is weak electrolyte. So what is called strong electrolyte and what is called weak electrolyte? So here this is strong electrolyte. So strong electrolytes dissociates completely. When we dissolve them into the solution, they dissociates completely, and those electrolytes or ionic species which on dissolution dissociates partially. And for this type of weak electrolytes we use degree of dissociation, means up to what extent this type of electrolytes get dissociated, means some of the part like NH4OH is there which is in equilibrium with NH4 plus OH minus. So here I have used equilibrium, means if we see this to forward direction then NH4 plus OH minus, and at the same time some of the ions get paired and they again form NH4OH. So there is an equilibrium between dissociated and an undissociated species in the solution. So this is very important to understand. However, in this case, if I used to write, so NaCl will be Na plus Cl minus in case of solutions. So what is the difference between this reaction and this reaction? So here I have used this single headed arrow, but here in this case I have used this equilibrium sign. So what is the difference between these two? So this dissociates completely, means in the solution or in my beaker only these two species are present. This I have already discussed in case of phases and components. So this is how you can understand the strong and weak electrolytes. These are dissociated completely, but there is a degree of dissociation which is represented by alpha. And the examples of weak electrolytes are NH4OH and CH3COOH. Now coming to the Ohm's law. So metallic and electrolytic, both kind of conductors obey Ohm's law. According to this Ohm's law, the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across the conductor. So you can understand it with this equation. V is proportional to I, and if we remove this proportionality sign, then we will get V is equal to R into I. The resistance R is proportionality constant and can be calculated with a measure of current flow if the voltage applied is known. So here this is the resistance, and this resistance can be measured by this equation, simply using this equation number 2. And now the units, here is R is the resistance and it has unit ohm, which is represented by this symbol. V is the voltage, V volts, represented in volts, and it is represented by this capital V. Current is represented by capital I, and the unit of the current is ampere. This we have already discussed in the previous video, and this is represented by capital A.